these very strong decks that you expect to see banned a lot. But it looks like, yeah, it's going to be Warlock going up against Warrior. It's going to be a Zoo deck, a very aggressive deck here from D2, going up against a very controlling Warrior deck from Numberguy.
All right, already a split in styles where one player is very defensive, one player is going to be very aggressive, and well, it looks like Numberguy is going to be pretty happy with that curve in the very beginning portions of the game. You want to try to get out as many minions as possible and swarm the Warrior player.
Oh yeah, certainly. He has like very good minions against the Zoo. Armorsmith is a fantastic card to gain life. It's really hard to deal with for a Zoo player. But on the other hand, D2 has a Flame Imp. That's a perfect card to start with. It's 1 mana, a 3/2. That's...
It's some of the best stats in the entire game. He's such a bargain. Yeah, he does some damage to you, but D2 doesn't care. If it comes down to him taking too much damage, he's already lost the game. He's got to get a very fast start.
Well, he got a decent carding. He kept the Armorsmith, but everything else seems to be a lot slower. He's going to need some help with the Fiery War Axe, perhaps.
Yeah, a Fiery War Axe is exactly the card you're looking for, and I'm almost surprised he didn't draw it. I feel like every time I play on the ladder, guys, that Warrior has his Fiery War Axe.
He still has some time. You can draw into the next turn, but he doesn't have that much time. Knife Juggler is going to put a lot of pressure back on the D2.
That is a fact.
Artosis, you are a control guy. Like you're playing a lot of control decks. Can you let me know how this Warrior works? Like,
you know, you want to slow down his board, remove all his minions, keep your life total as high as possible by using your hero power and arming up, and then win in the late game. But if we take a look at this game and how it's working out so far, it's not actually going well at all right now. For D2, he's in a hard spot.
D2 practiced his matchup relentlessly. He had a few of his practice partners simulate it, but he was struggling a little bit in practice. He says, this deck is just sometimes too fast, and I can't stop it. And in this scenario, look, he only can remove 1 minion on board, but it barely does anything to the overall strength of it. To follow up is really difficult.
This is just brutal. Like, looking at here, okay, he has Brawl. This is a really important card in D2's hand. This is going to allow him to remove most of the minions on the board, but that Nerubian Egg, that 0/2 you see there, oh my god. He just comes right back to life if he dies.
Yeah, this is the power of the Zoo deck. You are just spawning the board with the minions, and then when they destroy your field, you just use your hero power, pay 2 life, draw a card, and do it every turn. So basically every turn you're drawing 2 cards, and you can spend life because you are the aggressor, you are dealing damage, so you always have life to spend, and you just play more and more minions, and at some point your opponent's out of removal. Like, he can't clear your board, and he just dies.
Well, it looks like D2 wants to go ahead and use a Whirlwind there. It will kill the Knife Juggler, but still, he's going to be taking a lot of damage next turn.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Kill off that Knife Juggler and just pretty much pass to your opponent and pray that he has a very passive turn. If he just plays really weak attack creatures, even if it's just another Nerubian Egg, that gives him some stalling potential where he can perhaps get this Brawl off.
Well, let's see, guys. Draws the Undertaker. Kind of a dead draw right now. You don't want to be drawing Undertaker after the first couple turns. And
yeah, but still, Undertaker is a nice card. It's like for 1/1/2, it's fine, but you can really buff it. Whatever you play with a Death Roll, it gets bigger. And this board is getting really strong.
Well, it does look strong right now, but that Brawl is going to be coming out this turn, I think. And if, let's say that Nerubian Egg is the one that survives, then suddenly D2 is in a very winnable position.
Is there any value in just playing a Sludge Belcher, trying to stop the onslaught, and then maybe Brawl next turn?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely could go for something like that. In fact, he's going to go with the Fiery War Axe.
Well, honestly, if you're staring at this board, you only see, well, like 6 points of damage. It's not that much, and Warrior has 27 points of health and 2 armor, so it's comfortable.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to wait a little bit longer. Another Death Rattle minion will come out to add a lot more damage to that board, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a nice pickup for a Warlock player.
But yeah, I think what we're going to see here, probably, guys, an Axe swing onto the Egg into Brawl to try to get rid of that Nerubian.
Yeah,
I so, but what's going to win the Brawl? If it's the 4/4, that is going to be devastating.
Also, the Harvest Golem has Death Rattle, so it will leave a 2/1 token if it doesn't survive.
Yeah, look, that's what he wants to survive.
Oh man, the first Brawl.
Who's going to come out? Only one minion can survive. It's the Nerubian!
Oh, man.
If you're a Numberguy fan, that was excellent. That's right, I'm starting off the
That was fantastic, Fredden.
I approve of this joke.
Seriously, that was amazing to have the Ruby. Look at all these minions he has out here.
Oh no, and he's already going to drop below the halfway point here. 15 health, already close to death because he's looking at a lot of damage next turn and no clear way out of it.
And that's exactly what we talked about. You clear the board, but look at this board. Do you feel like you just cleared it? Not really.
You certainly do not. That is a big and scary board right there. You know, Zoo, man. This is the way it happens sometimes. He's got some defensive cards in his hands, but I don't know what this is going to really do.
But there is an Iron Beak Owl just waiting for anything that has taunt or any effect. It can silence a card and just go through it. How much damage is there even on the board right now? It's 11.
It's a lot. It's quite a bit. And I think we're going to see that Iron Beak Owl coming out. And that's, in fact, we could easily have him drawn to lethal this turn.
If Numberguy gets 2 points of damage, he will win right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So far, another Abyss Surgeon. Oh, right. He needs 4 now.
It's painful, but D2 just is in survival mode. And he's going to hopefully rely on this sludge.
So far, can make it. This is.
Oh, that's it. that's 2 points right there.
I think that's not enough because he armor up, so he needs some more.
He actually needs 2 more.
That's
points
right.
of
2 more.
damage. But Soulfire would be it.
That is 2 more, but delayed.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be all it needs, though. Because even if D2 had a second brawl, for example, if he kills off the Leopard Gnome, he suicides himself.
That is a fact. And in fact, just by playing that Leopard Gnome, this should, like, ensure victory.
Well, here's something hilarious. There's too many creatures on board that you can't even fit all of it. First world zoo problems.
Well, you have to count the creatures every time. 7 is the maximum number, so you can't play anymore.
All right, maybe the shield blocking gets something Unstable Ghoul. Does that help?
Unstable Ghoul is a good card. If he plays Armorsmith plus Unstable Ghoul, like this is the part where I don't really want to commentate because there's so much math involved, right? This is for them to figure out. But he can gain a bunch of armor. He's at 12 health. It's
So Frodan,
maybe.
How does Warrior win from this spot?
Well, if you can pull out from this huge onslaught of minions, maybe you can bring out some of your really late legendary cards that can swing the game. And don't forget, look how much health the Warlock player has. So in the instance where perhaps he finds a way to get one of his big, strong finishers for 10 damage, there might be a case where Numberguy is life tapping too much.
Yeah, you know, there's definitely a chance that we go into a victory for Warrior here, but I'm still looking at this as very difficult. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
He is going to get through for so much, even though there's a lot of armor gained.
He's got 9 damage remaining, plus the 4 in hand.
Wait, that's it.
13, right?
That should be it. It's 8,
Numberguy
10.
has to calculate this one more time.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
But it should be it, and that Flame Imp is going to do a lot of damage.
Oh my God, this is it. That's
right. And it looks like D2 will have to go to game 2.
A bit of hesitation. Numberguy wasn't sure because he wanted to double check and calculate.
Oh, you have to do all them off a couple of times. You have to be sure that you're winning the game.
Well, that's why they call him Numberguy, right? He's counting it, recounting it, making sure he has that chat lethal right there, and he did, in fact, have it.
Absolutely.
He did his homework for sure.
Well,
A+.
Indeed, that's what he does. Numberguy really wanting to go in that top 8. Of course, D2 does as well, but where do you go with as D2 from here?
Well, D2 has his priest available, and he also has, I believe, his warlock available. And we know his warlock is the slower warlock.
Hearthstone stage, so.
All right. A Leopard Gnome.
Hey, look at this opening hand. Not too bad. Immortal Coil. Oh, he might throw back the Iron Beak Owl.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, the Iron Beak Owl can be very useful to the slower Warlock player because you can immediately answer a turn 1 threat. Oh, he has Jaraxxus, which is a card that's very slow, but pretty epic.
Yeah, if we get to turn 9, Jaraxxus is very important because he's going to bring you back up to 15 health.
All right.
And he draws into Iron Beak Owl, which is how Hearthstone works once you throw a card away.
Yeah.
On the other hand, like Handlock, even if he doesn't have good cards in the beginning, he will be using Life Tap for the next couple of turns, like at least 2 or 3. So he's can improve in time. But this start from Zoo, oh man.
Well, you know,
It's pretty sick.
you toss out your owls, they always come back to you. Man's best friend, right? Is that the saying?
That's exactly what they say. Owls have been helping man hunt for
That's right.
millions of
greatest
years. For
companion.
millions of years, Frodan.
The Iron Beak Owl.
But and look at this. He actually life tapped there. I'm a little bit surprised. I thought we might see the Sun Fury Protector come down and try to start working on this board a bit.
I would definitely like a Sun Fury.
Oh.
Okay, this
That's good
changes
job.
a lot.
Yes. So this Molten Giant, the lower health he goes on, the easier it is to play, and he has a Talk Giver. Now, but the problem is, Numberguy also holds a ticket to get past the Molten Giant. He has the all-access VIP.
The Owl.
With the
The
owl.
owl.
Iron
That's
Beak
right.
Owl's name is on every
Man's
club's
best friend.
list.
It gets you into the club.
Everybody is playing an Iron Beak Owl. At least one. Sometimes two, obviously.
Iron Beak Owl is the MVP of Hearthstone. And you wouldn't think so at 2-1 because he dies immediately. But you know what else he does?
He also
tells you to
silences
shut up.
eggs.
Or yeah, silences. That's the
That's
other
So
way.
right.
this owl is doing so much work here. Just silence the egg and we'll be able to trade with a 3-2.
Yeah, well, that's what you would hope. But we see there are Voidwalkers in hand, which, you know, 1-3 taunts. Iron Beak Owl doesn't do anything against that. He flies into
That's
it like
true.
it's a very clean window and
You
breaks
can-
his little Iron Beak Owl neck.
You can still use the Shadow Flame and the owl will reach the imp.
Oh, that's actually a good point. In fact, that's going to be a fantastic play if he goes for it.
Oh man, he has to do it.
Killing 3 minions with
Well,
that one spell?
Impressive.
Let's see it. You gonna do it?
The only thing he could have picked up better would be Hellfire.
Yeah.
But in this scenario, Shadow Flame might also be the answer to the board.
Dude, if he doesn't Shadow Flame here, I'll be a little bit surprised. But he could do something like Defender of Argus. You know, that would help his Iron Beak Owl to go ahead and pick off one of these 1-3s. But he may want to prevent the damage a little bit quicker than that.
Well, being D2 here, you have to plan your next turns. Like, it's not like in Hearthstone, you can't just do the knee-jerk reaction and just, yeah, Shadow Flame, clear the board. Not really. You have to think, what are my other plays? What's the best line that I can take to come back in this game and win it in the end?
Well,
Wow, that's a really nice draw to pick up. But his hand's a little bit awkward to get through.
yeah, it's going to take a little
Yeah.
bit. This game not going to end too quickly here, it looks like. But strong cards in Numberguy's hand here. First, though, he has to get through this owl, which, well,
Yeah.
that's never that hard.
Lothab is such a powerful card against Handlock, against any deck in particular. If you have the board, if you have advantage, just play Lothab and lock down their hand. They won't be able to play spells. They can still play minions, but you get a 5/5 that's not easy to remove.
Man, that owl was pretty worth it, though. Chewing through 2 minions and disabling that egg. And, of course, he had the Defender of Argus backing it up. So that's a good bro right there. Defender of Argus always has your back.
He still has a way to Shadow Flame, but I guess you don't Shadow Flame here. Just develop the Belcher.
If you didn't do it last turn, maybe not, yeah. But that's good. You know, look, that's a nice big taunt. Again, the owl can cut through, but if he uses the owl, Lothab can't come out next. And, you know, Lothab always likes to join the party.
All right, another Nerubian egg is not exciting at all, but he still has both Lothab and Doomguard.
Well, I think he's going to skip that, probably play the egg this turn. Makes his board pretty strong.
But then how does he... Did he just leave up this board and play... Or doesn't really play around AoV?
wow.
Now he's going to face.
And so he's not respecting Molten Giants at all, and you can see that Molten Giant is an 8/8 for 0.
Dude, that is so big. And he has a Taunt Giver in hand. He can go ahead, play the Molten Giant, give his 2 biggest minions Taunt, and, I mean, even clear stuff off the board. He's got everything going for him.
He has a full board clear, in fact. If he uses his Soulfire and Shadow Flame in tandem.
Yeah,
and
that's
this
true.
Sludge Belcher still has Taunt.
Oh man, this is such a powerful turn. He just cleared. Blizzcon, this is Handlock.
Draxus actually automatically goes out with Soulfire. We already
That's
know
true.
that. It's,
Well, how do you get past this one? Lothab tries to disable the turn, but that's perfectly fine. Another Molten
man.
Giant D2.
So much damage incoming.
well, D2 has to be feeling pretty good about this, guys. He's got everything he needs and then some.
How do you even come back from here? Like, you had so much damage, you had an advantage, you had a full board.
I
and
don't even.
Suddenly,
I don't think you come back from here is the answer to that one, Nimsh.
Can he do something with a Leopardome?
No, I think you don't even play. I think you play the Doom Guard and then Life Tap for a Soulfire. But, well, it looks like he wants to sacrifice this in.
That's it? Is that it? No, okay.
Yeah, his opponent still has only 13 damage, needs 4 more. But he can just still stall for time. He's not in any rush. He has the biggest creatures, and he's going to put Numberguy on his last remaining turn.
Siphon Soul the Leopardome.
Worth it.
The value is real.
The value is real.
Right. Harvesting.
And that looks like that's going to be it. We're going to have this series tied up right now, 1-1.
Wow.
Warlock taking out Warlock Nimsh.
The Warlock wins.
A brilliant suggestion by you, a brilliant prediction that Warlock would win that game.
That was a tough one, but I did my best.
And that's all we can ask for. As these two guys sitting by a big fire, by the way. They have to be careful not to get too close to it.
It's very toasty in there.
Right.
But yeah, that was a nice little series there. And now the Handlock, having won that game, Handlock is so scary, as you saw. Like, if you get the right draw, and you oftentimes do because you're drawing so much off of that life tap hero power, you can do amazing things. 0 mana Molten Giants.
Yes. 0
for an AA. We were talking about how 1 for the 3/2 Flame Imp that damages you is really good.
I would make
0 for an AA.
Handlock is
Very tense situation for these guys.
Right. Some of the players also watching intently, Green Sheep, Rainy Hour, etc. Of course, they'll be cheering on for who they're rooting for. We're going to start off with a very quick curve for the Hunter player. He has Web Spinner and Loot Hoarder. And Kill Command is one of those important cards that you do want to have against the Handlock player.
That's right, but you want it a little bit later in the game. This is like kind of quick for him to be using.
You want minions. You want to have as much pressure as possible. But on the other hand, D2's hand is fantastic. Ancient Watcher, Iron Vigal. That's a dream hand.
Although, do you want to keep the Twilight Drake? Because you're gonna, it's dependent upon how many cards you're holding, right? And you're often not gonna be holding many cards.
Yeah, but still, like for 4 mana, if you play it as a 4/4 or 4/5, it's a good creature.
Yeah, I think it's an okay hold. You don't want to draw something like a Mountain Giant. You know, it's just too expensive. You're never going to get it out. So I'm okay with him keeping that. I think his hand overall, very nice this game.
Numberguy will be very sad if he sees Iron Beak into... All right. That's the power of the owl. You can silence your own minions.
That's right.
And your co-cashers when they make that joke.
That is a fact. And once again, kind of being the MVP here, allowing him to take out one of these dudes. And now we get to see the Iron Beak Owl possibly just fall down and die.
Undertaker a bit late to the party.
Did he want Leok there? I don't feel like he did.
No, Leok is generally the worst one to get.
Makla. This card is bananas.
This is kind of funny because if he plays that next turn, it's going to power up Twilight Drake.
That's true. In fact, he can afford to because that's the first time that he's life tapping. He's at a comfortable health. Sometimes, as much as it's hard to believe, on turn 3 or 4, you might already be in the low 20s and the high teens based off how fast the Hunter is able to start. And look, Numberguy drew a little short here. He needed a little bit more to deal with this Ancient Watcher and play something on the board.
This could not have gone better for D2 as of yet. Like, this is the perfect scenario to be at 27 health on turn 4. Like, that doesn't seem like a lot, but against Hunter, it oftentimes is.
It seems like D2 is an aggressor here. He is dictating the rules. He is trading with minions and attacking face. And look at that Ancient Watcher. Like, normally the card is just 4/5 blank. It doesn't do anything. But here it was able to trade with 2 minions and deal 4 points of damage to hero. Yeah,
and the bow hit as well. We got to take into consideration that would have been 3 damage right to his face. So it's worked out fantastically. If we look at this hand, it's like everything he would ever need, he has in this hand. It's so awesome for him.
That's right, and he's even up on cards. Normally, if you can be in this position with that much health and that much firepower, you're often holding 3 or 4 cards, but he's already at 6, and will pick up his 7th the following turn. D2 is in a wonderful spot.
Savannah Jaime, one of the best minions in the game, but there is Siphon Soul. Oh, and even Faceless.
Well, I don't know if you use Faceless here, to be honest. I think you're using this Siphon Soul. You don't want this Savannah Jaime to stay out. A 6/5 is just too big, and you have an opportunity to remove every beast from the board. And this is really important. The beast type of minion is super important for Hunter because it triggers kill commands, it triggers Houndmasters, and as we can see, both are in his hand right now.
Yeah, but you still have choices. Instead of using Siphon Soul, you can just go for face. Like D2
That's
is
true.
so much ahead that he can be an aggressor here.
He does choose to clean up all of those beasts for the time being.
Smart.
Yeah,
You don't want to give any beast energy, especially because the Houndmaster there. He's just sitting there idling.
Yeah, that Houndmaster a little bit useless right now. He's just a 4/3 for 4 mana, and that is not good value at all.
You can still play the Makla and then buff it to have a 7/7, but you are giving bananas.
Right. You're giving ways for your opponent to strike back.
What do you guys, like, I hate using kill command on minions. What do you think about, like, Mukla freezing trap hero power? I feel like that's, like, pretty good.
That might be good.
Yeah, that might be fine.
I really want to see the freezing
playing
trap.
Mad Scientist develop more tempo as well.
We're going to see a Leperno.
Okay, so
Okay.
an interesting choice.
I think it's okay. Like, you want to keep the kill commands to actually kill him with, because he's going to have big taunts, but when you play King Mukla, you want there to be nothing on the board for your opponent.
Yeah.
Because you are giving those bananas. Bananas are +1/+1 for the creature.
And a good source of potassium as well.
Yes, they are. Thank you, Dr. Artosis.
Yeah, no problem.
You know, interestingly enough, there are ways to deal with King Mukla too. If your opponent has the big game hunter, they just double banana and then snipe it down. So it's actually a very unfortunate situation. D2 didn't have that perfect scenario.
Well, now we're in this situation that's kind of interesting. Like, do you play your freezing trap?
I think you can
For
still.
7 mana, or you can play Houndmaster instead.
Yeah, you're totally allowed to go ahead and do that, and he does, in fact, go for that.
Oh, you lose 7 damage killing off this Lothar.
Yeah, I don't know that I can get behind that, to be honest.
That's really tough.
The thing is, he can turn into a 7/7 with the bananas, or if there's a Hellfire, everything can get cleared. So I understand why he's thinking this, but I think you have to go to face with this. I think if Numberguy doesn't go to face here, he is going to end up really being in trouble. Oh.
Well, you know, if he did, he put his opponent down to 15, and that gives him room to play those Molten Giants, which are so nasty because the Hunter doesn't have an ability to deal with it.
Yeah, but now it's like really easy to clear the board.
Yeah.
So how are you going to win from those positions if the board gets cleared?
He was saying, I'm afraid of the bananas I have in your hand, but when he was being afraid of the bananas, he fell and slipped on the banana like a cartoon cat with this Hellfire just clearing everything out.
Oh man, that was a tough clear.
Rough.
Well, at least Numberguy got a secret off of that Mad Scientist. We don't know which
That's
one
true.
just yet, but he does have something for his losses. And a pass from D2.
Okay.
He gets a trap. He won't be able. Oh, he can actually play both of them. So,
So-
this is explosive trap.
It probably is explosive trap. You're right. Wow. Okay. Well, that's extra damage that can go to face. So he still has his chances in this game, but this is looking really, really rough. Like, if he had gone to face with the 7/7, the Molten might be out, but the Warlock would be down 7 more health, down to 8 health right now. And 8 is something that's kind of easy for Hunter to get done.
That's right.
So Headlock is just going to develop the board, and he still has Jiraxis. If something happens, he can heal up to 15.
Oh, I mean, how long do you hold on to your axes? Is it your heal back to up to 15, or is it a move to win the game?
Well, if you are going to play it and win the game, you can do it. But first, you have so many good cards.
Oh!
That's a nice top deck.
That's an
That is
auto cast
perfect.
right there, man. Ooh.
You set that creature to 1 health. It doesn't matter how much attack it has. You're able to take it down with just a lowly spider.
That's right. And now you get 2 spiders because that's what spiders do, and that's why they're so creepy.
Oh, God.
But they are not beasts.
No, they certainly are not.
They're the ghost spider.
This just keeps getting these huge taunts out. And the thing is, he has Jiraxis behind this to heal up with as well.
Do you buff the spiders with bananas just for fun?
You know, I think you can buff one of your own minions. I don't think you're that far ahead where you're comfortable giving your opponent help to kill you.
Look, if he buffs one of his opponent's spiders, he gets 10 out of 10 on his BM rating.
That's right.
That's for sure.
And
Does he
wants
want
to
to
get
impress
that.
the judges, or does he want us to go for the win?
In my opinion, you should be impressing the judges. I love to be impressed, but I mean, it's up to him.
I think he also wants to debate what secrets there are. There's 2 up, and if he can activate one of the snake traps, he can use his Shadow Flame to clear as well. So he's trying to kill 2 birds, or 2 snakes.
Or 3
with 1
snakes
stone.
and 2 spiders.
With 1 stone.
With a Defender Vargas and then a stone of some sort.
The other secret didn't pop too, so there still is
Yeah.
1 up. That should give him confirmation that this is explosive trap.
That's right, which kind of makes me surprised that he threw away the 2/3 and not the 2/2. Because now with Explosive Trap out, he plays the Freezing Trap, and both of them will trigger. Both these minions are not going to be really doing very much.
Unless he uses a banana.
Into the breach.
Feed him a banana. D2.
He doesn't feed the banana.
He's just
my
saving
God.
the bananas to finish the game with them.
All right, well, I think he realizes.
See the oops? That was a mistake.
All right, well, time for contingency plan.
Jaraxxus.
Well, that's going to be
Is that Eridar Lord time? Or do you face it?
of the Burning Legion?
Yeah.
Is it?
I think it is.
It's the Burning Region or Legion.
You face Jaraxxus.
Trifling no.
Oh God, there he is.
He's got 2 Soulfires to back this up, by the way. So it's a lot of damage. And you know what? You can just have this this Twilight Drake as the impassable wall.
Yeah, you can attack for days with that hero ability. You know, his hands do a lot of damage.
Oh wow, another
here.
Hunter's Mark.
Okay. Now he has to decide, do I take this out? Because that Hunter's Mark can take out this Twilight Drake so easily.
Now it's actually pretty interesting because Jaraxxus just heal damage, but it's only 13. So if Hunter is able to continue dealing damage and gets a kill command, maybe he can still win the game.
Yeah, it is definitely a possibility here, but with so few cards in hand, it's looking really rough for Numberguy. Like D2 is, especially after this turn, look at this. He's got Faceless and Sludge Belcher. He can get so many taunts out right now.
He's in such a spot. Just like you said, if he puts out that Faceless Manipulator or the Sludge Belcher, it is just so many walls to get past.
Yeah.
And I mean, D2 also has killing damage the next turn because he's got 2 Soulfires in hand.
That's a lot of damage. That's 8.
That's true.
If he doesn't discard a Soulfire, he can do 8 plus 3 with an attack. It's 11. So
Numberguy needs a big rebound potential, but I mean,
Web Spinner is not the card
he draws one of the
No.
weakest cards that's possible at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the best he can do is play his Web Spinner and kill off this Drake, and that's just not what you're looking to do.
that's game.
Well, it
wait, how much?
depends. It depends, Nimsh.
Yeah,
If
let's see.
Soulfire discards
9?
the other Soulfire, but I think you go for it, right? This is
he's
an opportunity to
definitely
win the
go
game.
for
Whoa! Now that does seal the game right here.
This is game.
But does he want to conceal that Ragnaros? He doesn't have to show it. That's information he's giving his opponent for the following game.
Well, it looks like he is going to play the Rag. When you attack the Spider there, I think that tells you all you need to know. So, looks like he wants to go for it, and...
Well, it's definitely not good to
There's
rush.
a lot of ways to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so he pops the Freezing Trap. There are no more secrets available.
You will have to play Ragnaros then
Alright.
to finish the game.
Now, do you create an Infernal before you end the game? Or do you
That is the
Soulfire
question,
again?
is
Do you
it PM?
Soulfire again?
No BM, and Ragnaros is going to seal the game.
Wow. A strong victory there for D2.
Oblivion.
And that handlock deck showing what we were talking about before. You can just beat anything with this
Wow.
deck. It's crazy. But another crazy deck awaits. Miracle Rogue, another deck that can kill absolutely anything.
Or can lose versus absolutely anything.
That is a fact as well. Against Priest, it's a pretty high order to lose, but absolutely it can lose against Handlock. Handlock is actually considered a good matchup against Miracle Rogue.
Yeah.
is.
The pressure that you can create with really large minions often forces the rogue to use all of their spells, and then they have no synergy with that auctioneer that draws in the rest of their deck. So it's a combo deck that's really oriented upon that one card drawing, but you need the resources in order to make it happen.
Also, there is a different strategy even, because Miracle Rogue basically needs time to set up the combo. Like, you want to get a Gadget Stand, you want to get a coin, you want to get to the turn 5-6.
Literally. It is Miracle Rogue.
He has the Gadget Stand!
And he has the coin, and the coin is very important. It does count as a spell and gives you that extra mana, so those are two things that you really, really want as a Miracle Rogue player.
Oh man, but look at the hand from D2. Twilight Drake and Mountain Giant.
Best hand you can get right there. These cards are so important.
Yeah, and very difficult for the rogue player to deal with. Just how do you
Yeah.
remove that giant? You
Well,
have Eviscerate and SSH,
Yeah.
but that's not even enough damage.
Well, you still have a couple of turns to draw
Yeah.
into cards you need.
To be honest, both these guys have basically the best hands you can get in this matchup. So we're really going to see, you know, who wins in this situation. Is it the Violet Teacher-based Miracle Rogue, or is it Handlock?
Violet Teacher is such an important pickup because Handlock doesn't have any AoE clear right now. he will be going for the minions, but he still has 2 more turns.
Well, he draws into a sap as well. That's actually a nice draw right now.
So do you coin your Violet Teacher?
Wow. Maybe, you know, saving the coin for your Gadgetzan Auctioneer can be very good as well. I'd actually like to see him just play the Earth Ring or the SI7. And I think it's the Earth Ring is the one I'd like to see the most.
There is merit to playing the Violet Teacher earlier, though, because it's very difficult for the handlock player to easily remove it.
That's
so
true.
it does have a minion that sticks. You may be able to respond to the first creature and then get some other things out, but I think you're right. Saving the coin is extremely valuable to the rogue, especially compared to other classes.
And you can still, oh my god, another Mountain Giant. That's so much damage.
Well, ooh, that's a good draw right now. He can actually
right,
end
he
up
can
killing
remove.
this off, but I think he's going to want to use his dagger charge for sure here.
Do you can maybe just play Violet Teacher and even use preparation and sap. Like use preparation aggressively to set up a board. But he's going.
Oh, we'll use his Gadgetzan instead to go for some card draw.
He's going ham, guys.
I like it.
Gadgetzan already out.
I like it as well. He will be able to draw so many cards and just cycle preparation, which is useless without Gadgetzan.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And look at this. He does get to remove this. Really doesn't lose any cards there. The power of Miracle Rogue. That is just, what a crazy turn he has on turn 4 with that coin.
And D2 can't deal with it. Well, the only way you can do is silence it with the Ironbeak Owl.
And once again, the owl shows his worth.
And you have to deal with the Gadgetzan. You just can't leave the 4/4 on the board and let your opponent just cycle through all his deck, like through all the deck.
But there's ways around it anyways. Numberguy can still draw and take board initiative with this Azure Drake. And this is what Miracle needs. He needs to get ahead of the handlock player before they can get the threats out. Because now, any spell that plays gets amplified by that dragon.
Yeah, and look, he has all these big bodies on the board. This is like really difficult to deal with.
But that Soulfire was an excellent draw, too.
He needs the Soulfire, and it should be running right into that Azure Drake.
Soulfiring Azure Drake is such a delicious play. A 5-mana creature being dealt with easily with a 0-mana spell.
Yeah. Pretty nice. So,
Cold Blood.
I mean,
Wow.
there's plenty of things here as well for Numberguy to do. I mean, look at all these different combos he can actually go for. The Cold Blood onto this 4/1 to kill off this giant. Already he's dealt with 2 very hard to deal with minions.
And he keeps the board, so Numberguy is able to push with, like, you want to establish a board and deal with the threats. And when you have the board, you can make the push and go for the win.
Well, D2 introduced once again with an interesting choice between Sludge Belcher and Mountain Giant. But he says, you know what? There's no way you can deal with the second giant as easily as you did the first one.
Yeah, no way. But there is a way. There is a way.
No way, but there is a way.
Yeah.
You can still sap it and draw a card. That's so much value.
Do you
there.
want to do that, or do you want to Loatheb sap? Because you're at the mana now where your Gadgetzan will be taken care of no matter what. Like, he will kill it the next turn if you don't do this.
I like Loatheb Sap because you are able to attack this turn, and you know that nothing scary will happen. Like, the opponent won't clear this board because of Loatheb power.
It just gives you so much to deal with the next turn. So let's see what he ends up going for. This is actually starting to look pretty scary for D2.
Yeah, and his only line of defense is that Sludge Belcher. Remember, he discarded one of his Taunt Givers in the Sunfury Protector, and D2 already looked like he stressed. Numberguy is pretty happy about the situation because he looked over at D2, he glanced at him and said, oh, it must be a bad situation for him.
That's
I like
true.
it.
He's
Using
getting
that
the
information.
tells. He's looking at his face and saying, oh, you look sad, and that makes me happy. And isn't that just the spirit of Hearthstone right there?
Absolutely.
That's why Loatheb is such a powerful card. You can just snowball from there. It's just you play it, you attack with whatever you have, and then you know that you will be safe next turn as well.
Yeah.
And he has that sap for whatever is being played by
That's
D2.
true. It's like free turn, and then you go for it the next turn as well. So much damage on board. Like right now, we see 11 damage just sitting there, and more damage can just pop right out of the woodwork.
And 10 points of damage is not that hard to get for a Miracle Rogue. So D2 might think he's staring at a possible lethal next turn.
Yeah, absolutely, it could be. Sometimes these Violet Teacher rogues can be a little bit slower, and he already used 1 Cold Blood, so he's probably like,
he's gonna
my
go
God!
He needs to hit one of these big creatures.
Oh! Just that was the biggest 1-1 I've seen in this tournament.
That
is a good apprentice.
Oh, man. He took it for the team right there, guys.
All right, so
Well.
what Numberguy can do here?
He's shivving Ragnaros, implying that he doesn't want to sap it.
Well, I think he should sap, though, right? Like, I feel like sap is pretty awesome. Like, removing it, I guess, is okay, but if you sap it, it's the same as removing it because he will never play this rag again. He will not have time to play it again.
He didn't have the guarantee of being able to draw cards and be able to sap, but now he does with the preparation. So he can still draw 2 more cards here, or he can remove with his SI7 agent.
I think you still remove the Ragnaros. Just deal a couple more points
Save
of damage.
that sap a little bit longer.
You have to be mindful of the Molten Giants. You don't want to deal too much, but you want to set up yourself to win in a couple turns.
Well, then do you hold on to it and just weapon up, or
I think
you
Farseer
can
is fine.
attack?
Looks like he might commit to the board. Okay, I like the weaponing up here, to be honest. If you commit like so many minions to the board and he does have a Hellfire, then suddenly he's very happy to use it.
There's no Hellfire yet. Shadow Flame is a clear.
Yeah, it may be one that he has to do, but that will use up all of his mana. He can't really play anything else. If he goes Ancient Watcher, Shadow Flame, well, that doesn't even do it, right? He'd have to use a Giant.
Yeah, it seems like he is 1 mana short or 1 card short to be able to play a Mountain Giant, Ancient Watcher, and Shadow Flame.
Yeah. Well, you could Mountain Giant Shadow Flame. Like, this board is very scary. How safe does D2 want to be? He's got to leave himself some way to win the game as well.
Well, he still has like a lot of minions. He has Molten Giants and a Faceless.
Do you have the flexibility, health-wise, to remove a minion with Siphon Soul and play an Ancient Watcher to try and set up for something next turn and just say, all right, well, maybe I'll take a little bit more damage. Molten Giant might become a little cheaper.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, hopefully you just don't kill me when I'm at 19 health.
It's a little bit... Ooh.
Oh, Hellfire.
Okay,
right,
he is
well,
going to remove everything.
He doesn't trust his opponent.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I think you still have the flexibility to do that.
Okay.
Because you just seen Miracle Rogue just killing a Ragnaros instead of going for face. So you can probably risk it.
Now, taking a look at this board, guys, like, and the hand that we have right now for Numberguy, yeah, he has some 0 mana spells. He has other spells as well, but these aren't spells that you just want to cycle through gadgets on. Like, he wishes he had a Shiv right now. A Shiv would be amazing, but what he has, like, it's a gamble. If he plays this gadgets on, he might not be able to protect it.
I still think you go for it.
You think
just
so?
Passing the turn is not optimal.
What do you think about maybe attack, re-dagger, and Earthen Ring?
You're giving
Is it
up
too weak?
You're giving up a lot of initiative on the board, and you still have so many cards you want to draw through.
All right.
He's thinking about healing his opponent to put him out of Molten Giant range?
And that's not BM.
What? That is creative.
Or
to
is
say
that,
the
is
least.
that BM or is it not BM?
No. He's obviously trying to play around the Molten Giant, which we know D2 has. And you know what? He can't play both Molten Giant and the Sludge Belcher. He has to make a choice.
Double Sludge Belcher is still a very powerful turn.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It kind of worked out for him to get the 2 Sludge Belchers out here because he can actually deal with these pretty darn easily with this gadgets on. This is not going to be hard at all for him to clean up this board.
Oh, yeah. Right now, you just you have to start a spell slinging.
Yeah. Let's see what he draws into. Oh, that's exactly what he wanted, guys. That is exactly it. Now he just has to math this out because he has Blade Fury, which allows him to do a lot of AoE damage with his weapon.
Destroy a card with Deadly Poison.
Yeah, he's gonna draw into so much here.
And look at the power of this deck. Like, this deck is really unique.
Yep.
And, oh my god, another Deadly
Second
Poison.
Deadly Poison.
Oh,
And he's got to conceal.
That's everything.
it just doesn't end with Miracle Rogue.
Christmas came early for Numberguy. And he's pretty much dealt with this board so effectively, he could play the SI7 agent and clear or even conceal.
Yeah.
Just conceal and
I like the conceal. I
And
really
Cola.
like it.
that looks like lethal next turn.
Yes, it certainly looks like it. Well, we'll see what his opponent can do. Does he draw into something that can actually remove this Gadgetzon Auctioneer? That's, he does have the Hellfire for the other one, but that deals damage to him. And no, I mean, he doesn't have the cards he needs here. Does he have to life tap and hope for a Shadow Flame?
You want to know something cool, Artosis?
What?
If Numberguy didn't heal D2, what would his play turn this be? It would have been Molten Giant, Sun Fury Protector, and Faceless.
Whoa!
Wow.
Did healing his opponent win him this game?
I mean, it's a factor in disrupting this turn at least, and this is a critical juncture.
Oh my God, you are right, Frodan. This is actually kind of crazy. You see, I've never healed my well, turn 2 priest, the light shall burn, you heal him. That's a standard move, but this one,
this is War Champs. Those players play thousands of games, and they know those matchups really well.
I mean, he still can go for a defensive play with the Ancient Watcher instead, but how much would have been more intimidating to have 2 8/8 creatures? Your opponent already used 1 sap, correct? So he needed to deal with the second giant more honestly.
Dude, and Numberguy has held on to this sap. Like, look at his hand. He's got a lot of great stuff. He has played so well this game. It's actually amazing. D2, on the other hand, like, has played extremely well also, but he's in a hard spot here. Numberguy has just had every single answer he could ever want.
It's a really hard spot. I don't think he can do anything here. If he plays a big taunt, it will be sapped.
And he knows his opponent's holding a 5 damage dagger. He needs to go defensive, and this Ancient Watcher is his best chance, along with the Molten Giant, to stay alive. We know that Numberguy has it. He fist pumps. This series will be tied up.
Numberguy did count his numbers. He's just going with the sequence now, sapping the Molten.
Here we go, guys. That is a big Blade Fury. This is a big sap. And with that cold blood, he is going to end up taking this game and bringing it, of course, to game number 5.
Wow, well played. And D2 is going to have to turn to another deck here. His priest deck is all that remains to advance to the next round.
And that's a very bad matchup for the priest.
It can be really hard to use Priest against Miracle Rogue. You know, you're a slow reactive deck. You want to kill other control decks. You want to kill minion-based decks. But Miracle Rogue does things that are outside of your sphere of influence. So it's tough, but I do want to point out that last week when we were doing the lead up to the road to BlizzCon, the final road to it, we saw Priest actually beat this exact type of Miracle deck multiple times.
Yes,
it is doable.
It certainly happens.
Not once, not thrice, but twice.
It is doable, but is it D2able?
D2able?
Oh, well. Oh, all right. So I got one in. He got one in. You have to get one in.
If he doesn't mix his numbers, then Numberguy might actually lose.
Alrighty.
The light shall bring victory.
All right, so Numberguy.
I hope so, Anduin, because you're going to need a little bit of help here.
Well, so D2 gets the coin. He did mulligan Thoughtseal away. Thoughtseal is not great in this matchup. Just getting deadly poison.
Yeah, it's not very exciting, but this priest hand is actually pretty nice. A wild pyro followed by a dark cultist and then an Akanai soul priest. Oh god,
he has the combo.
Yeah, he has a lot of great tools here. This is actually a good hand.
How does the combo really work? It's like, instead of healing your minions with Circle of Healing, you just reverse it. You just deal damage.
Yeah, instead of healing, you deal damage.
It's a fantastic clear.
Yeah, you look at Circle of Healing, you're like, well, I don't want to heal all the minions on the board, and then you pair it with Akanai, it's like, oh.
Yeah, it is. Was that your reaction when you first saw the card?
Yes, it was.
Well, you were one of the first players to show us Circle of Healing combinations in Priest last year. And we've come a long way.
Well, it has stayed strong, Frodan. We'll see if it ends up paying off for him or not.
Okay, well, you know, D2 immediately reaches for Thought Steal rather than putting Minion on the board.
Okay.
He gets 2 cards, which aren't useless.
Yeah. Hey, Azure Drake is a fantastic card. You can allow him to put on some pressure and backstab. It's like, meh.
It's not terrible.
Well, it's, I mean, it helps get rid of this Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you really complain about that?
Yeah.
He can actually coin out the Azure Drake and use backstab to kill that for free.
Absolutely.
That's a fantastic play.
It's quite nice.
What is your opponent going to think? It's like, oh, he's playing Azure Drake and backstab in a priest deck.
No, you know your opponent stole it from you.
The mind games are real.
I would hope so. Well, he does use that. At least he knows what the Mind Steal got.
Sure, that's right. You know, it's always a mystery if your opponent's holding on to cards that he took from you.
Well, this turn,
I mean, it normally feels like the Azure Drake turn, but he was thinking about creatively taking out this Azure Drake just in case. But I think you don't really care as much about that compared to drawing cards.
Yeah, and you just developed the 4/4 minion against the priest. Priest, in general, has problems dealing with 4 attack minions.
Yeah, 4 attack is you know, Shadow Word Pain doesn't get it, Shadow Word Death doesn't get it. It's in that little sweet spot right in between, so can be a little bit annoying to deal with.
All right, so Miracle Rogue still doesn't have the Gadget Auctioneer, which is the key card. But right now,
spell power is awesome.
This is,
Yeah.
look at this. He just gets to deal with this so easily. He used one card here, total, because he got to draw Fan of Knives. He only lost one card to deal with his Sludge Belcher, developed his board more, drew deeper into his deck. The power of Miracle Rogue shown once again.
that's a fantastic sequence, but are we going to see the Circle of Healing here?
Whoa, I guess
Not
not.
the time yet.
Okay, I thought we might see Circle that turn, Nimsh.
Well, I think he wants to use it against a concealed Gadget Stand
Yeah.
Auctioneer. You can't really reach a minion that's stealth if your opponent has it concealed away. So at that point, D2 says, I'm going to drop the Arcanized Soul Priest, use Circle of Healing, clear the board.
Also, it's a very powerful play you want to save for the future. And Sylvanas, you still have some health. Like, you have 25, so you can use your Sylvanas now. You
Yeah.
won't have time for Sylvanas later.
That's true, but what do you think about sapping her? I would love to see a sap.
Well,
here.
I suppose you draw first before you... Ooh, you sap and you play Van Cleef.
You
Do
do
you do
sap
that
it.
before you drop? So that way you have a 4/4 minion, or do you play it as a 6/6?
If you did that and he has Auchenai, for sure it's going, but I guess Auchenai is still going to have to come out this turn, right?
Alkanai is still killing this because he will have mana for the hero power.
you're right. Or he still has Silence,
All right.
if he didn't have the Arcanine.
Yeah, but this is the
Yeah.
Alkanai turn. You have to clear the board. Just play Alkanai Soul Priest, turn into the Shadow Priest, a bit, like, kind of the Shadow Priest. And then heal and kill.
Comes and okay, is going to choose to do this and play the Dark Cultist with it instead of using Hero Power, which is fine. The Silence card doesn't have a lot of targets in Miracle Rogue.
Yeah, and you want to develop the board. You want to be aggressive.
And you know what? He's done a good job. If we actually look at this, it looked great for Numberguy, but now his hand is very lackluster. He doesn't have a whole lot he can do here.
Right, we're still searching for the Gadget Stand Auctioneer to draw those cards, and Numberguy, he's running low on resources after he gets rid of these creatures.
If the priest stabilizes, he will be able to heal himself, but then
Yeah.
you have to kill your own Okanai. Right now, the hero power is for 2 mana, deal 2 points of damage. That's a powerful dealing damage spell, but
But I feel like looking at this hand that you don't have much option. I feel like you maybe have to clear this board, right? Like play
Think
that
so.
Earthen Ring, dagger up to kill the 3/1 with your hero power, and then use your Eviscerate on this 3/4. Because if you don't, he's going to be dealing so much damage to you. He can deal 8 damage a turn to you right now.
yeah, I think you definitely have to clear. And your sequence is very nice because then you don't buff the Alkanai Soul Priest. Unless you want to keep the Alkanai Soul Priest on the board so the priest will never heal.
That is also... that is a strategy that you can use, but usually it's dangerous to keep up the Arcanized
It
Soul
is.
Priest. Just because the pressure that it can put on you is way too much.
But hey guys, like we were talking about how this is very rogue favored, and we can see Priest is low on health, but as Frodo and Nimsh were saying, if we don't see him draw into something big soon, he's going to be in a terrible spot.
Sylvanas is coming back after the sap. She wants to have a mark on this game.
Oh, she already has. Oh man,
Not
Conceal
the
is
card
not
you
it.
need.
Still no gadgets hand, but this is the Miracle Rogue. Like when you get a gadgets and auctioneer, this deck is just fantastic, phenomenal. You use all those spells to draw another card every time you cast a spell. But if you don't have it, you are in trouble basically.
What do you guys think about going all in here? Oh god, I think it's too risky. Like you could go for a cold blood on your guy and go for conceal on him after attacking, deal like a lot of damage. But if your opponent has Shadow Word Death, which all priests play at least one copy of, you are in so much trouble because they will
right.
just steal your stealth minion.
If he steals that minion, that might be game right there because you spend all your resources. In fact, that probably will be the game.
Yeah.
But we do know that D2 doesn't have the Shadow Word Death.
If he did the brave move, it would pay off, maybe.
I think
Yeah, it's like you go all in and it maybe pays off. Is it the risk that you have to take? Is Numberguy left to this? This is an elimination game and he's running out of time.
oh my god, he might have to do it because what else are going to do?
Okay,
he goes for the trade.
he's not going to take that risk. I think this is okay. If he draws in the next 2 to 3 turns, the
That's generous,
Auctioneer.
Artosis, because Ysera looks like she's primed and ready to go down.
she certainly is, and if you get a Ysera's Awakening off of her dream cards,
Oh,
that's
whatever
the
you
dream.
get is good.
Oh,
That's
no.
true. Let's see
What's
what
the
it
card?
is.
A Drake.
Emerald Drake is
Okay.
great pressure. That's just like a giant against
Yeah.
the Miracle Rogue.
It's really hard to deal with. This is not the card you want here, unfortunately.
Still no Gachisan for Numberguy. Just has to continue dealing damage as much as possible, but now it's not that good anymore.
Okay, he's gonna conceal. This means he's looking for a big play next turn with Cold Blood.
But that's, how much damage is that? That's 7 plus, that's 9 points of damage.
It's not quite enough, guys. He has to get cards to draw more cards with.
So from here, the priority for D2 is to make sure, like when your opponent conceals, that's an act of desperation.
Yes.
Like, on a weak minion like the SI7 Age, the 3/3 there. So D2 just has to play very careful. In fact, what do you think about drawing more cards first before you do anything else?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. One thing I would look at, I'd say, I'm going to heal this turn. You know, another thing I'd say, I want to put on some pressure, but I think, yeah, I love this Power Word Shield. It's so good.
Whoa, that's
a good card.
Too.
Oh, he can gain so much health with that next turn.
Yeah, and I think D2 might have found the key to unlock the top 8 for him, because that Holy Fire puts it so hard for Numberguy to kill him.
Has to be an Auctioneer. What is it? Oh, it's
no,
Lotheb.
it's the
That is
wrong
not
5
it.
minion.
It's a Lotheb, and it doesn't change that much.
God, this is so rough.
Numberguy in trouble. He can deal. He's staring at so many dragons at the same time. Sarah.
That's a Drake, Nimsh.
But Sarah is a dragon.
So many.
Well, that's technically
The
a dragon
Emerald Drake
as well.
is a Drake, though.
It is like technically a dragon as well.
Isn't a Drake a baby dragon?
It should be a baby dragon.
All right.
Should be fine.
Why is it more attack than your Sarah?
Because Sarah is passive right now.
Where's Ben Bro?
She's just chilling.
Don't look at me, Archos. I don't question Nims when it comes to these things.
Well, this is such a rough turn for Numberguy. Like, if he could draw that Gadgetzon, even this turn, he still had a good chance. But looking at it now, this, especially next turn when he gets Holy Fired, because guys, he will get Holy Fired.
Unless he plays Lotheb. But he will get Holy Fired eventually, and that will just seal the game. So somehow Breeze was able to just hold Steadfast and just not die, and right now he has a very significant board.
I think if he still had another conceal, perhaps he had a chance to go for it, but now he has to rush damage, but we also know that there's ways for the Priest to respond and put himself out of range.
All right, let's see what he does with this.
Well, hold on, he's got
not a lot of spells that he can really play.
But he can clear the board.
I think you do.
You need to clear. You need to clear here. You can't play Holy Fire this turn. Still a chance for Numberguy. It is getting very slim, though.
He's not out of this tournament yet. But
do you clear by using all of your minion trading down, or can we use Holy Nova here to start putting a little bit counter pressure back on their opponent, or are you just gonna play super safe?
I think minions are fine, and you can still.
Look, I think you want to heal yourself here. I think I'd sack this 3/4 into the 7/3, or the Sarah would work as well.
Okay.
Both are pretty good. And that hits exactly what you wanted on. Heal yourself, play your Black Knight, sick pressure board still. Numberguy, I don't even know what he's supposed to draw here.
D2 has lethal next turn, so whatever Numberguy draws has to win him.
Yeah.
Got that +5,
That
and Violet
is not
Teacher's
it.
not going to be it, and I think Numberguy sees the writing on the wall, where his journey of BlizzCon might be ended on this next turn.
Oh man, and he had such an advantage. This was a good matchup for him, but he didn't see the Gachitzan Auctioneer.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. You know, sometimes this is what Rogue does. Even though it's heavily favored in some matchups, you don't draw your Gachitzan Auctioneer, you can't get through your deck and do the things you need to do.
That's going to be it. Well play gets tossed out. D2 will take Game 5 and advance to the top 8.
Wow, very well played by D2.
Fantastic match.
Winning a very hard match there. Well played by both players, no doubt about it. A nice hug between them two.
Lots of respect between the two. But once again, D2 surprising people. He is in the top 8 representing Americas.
That's right. Great to see him go up there in front of, you know, this American crowd, the region that he did qualify from. A strong contender for the title, I would say.
A fantastic comeback. Like that was a great series. 5 games overall. He didn't fall to the pressure. He was